بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is our program Secrets of Fasting, and this is Dr. Tariq Rashid. Today we are going to discuss the conditions for good sunan in Ramadan, and we will start with praying at-Taraweeh. At-Taraweeh, actually, our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has encouraged us to do al-Qiyam in Ramadan. And it was one of the practices that our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam did always in Ramadan. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. So if you go and do Qiyam in Ramadan, this is a step to actually get out of your guilts that you are doing. So it's a practice and it's a sunnah in Ramadan to do at-Taraweeh. But what is the concept of at-Taraweeh and where does it take its name from? Usually we have the vocabulary in, for example, in language, what does it mean? And in Sharia, what does it mean? Taraweeh in language, it means taking rest. And the practice previously was that Muslims, after the praying of Al-Isha, they usually go and take rests after several ruk'ah. Usually after 4 ruk'ah, they take rest. And from this, it comes that Taraweeh is taking a rest between several ruk'ah. And our Prophet Muhammad did this in Ramadan. In the first year of Ramadan, he did it continuously. Then he did it for 10 days in the second Ramadan. And the idea of our Prophet Muhammad, he did not do it continuously because he did not want that our Muslims go always that think that this is al-fard. So the best practice is to follow as-sunnah. But Al-Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was the first who actually take this sunnah and refresh the Muslims and encourage the Muslims by that time to practice at-Taraweeh in Ramadan. And since that time, it is now taken as per night in Ramadan, we practice at-Taraweeh after Al-Isha. And usually its time is from after Al-Isha till dawn of the next day. عن أبي هريرة قال كان النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يرغب في قيام رمضان من غير أن يأمرهم بعزيمة. Abu Hurairah said that our Prophet Muhammad was always urging the Muslims to do al-Qiyam in Ramadan, but without enforcing them. So the idea is to have some sort of relaxation, and at-Taraweeh is one of the sunan al-mu'akkada in al-Islam. So we are encouraged always to do Taraweeh. And the best practice is after we take iftar, we pray al-Maghrib, then we take a short rest, then we go for al-Isha praying. And at-Taraweeh is practiced is done actually in mosques. Now, what are the several conditions to follow during at-Taraweeh and how many ruk'ah they do it? It has been proved that there are no special number of ruk'ah in at-Taraweeh. And عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت حين سئلت ما كان رسول الله يزيد في رمضان ولا غيره على 11 ركعة ويصلي 4 فلا تسأل عن حسنهن وطولهن ثم يصلي 4 ولا تسأل عن حسنهن وطولهن ثم يصلي 3. Aisha radiallahu anha said that when she was asked how did our Prophet Muhammad practice al-Qiyam in Ramadan, so she said that usually he do for 4 ruk'ah. The best he can do is reading continuously, then he salam, then another 4 ruk'ah, then he ends by 3 ruk'ah. So most nations and most Muslims all over the world practice 11 ruk'ah in at-Taraweeh. And this is actually the practice, but it's not a must to do for this. You can increase this. Some say that it is 20 ruk'ah, 36, including, of course, al-witr. But mostly the best practice is for 8 in order not to have lengthy time of praying, except in the last 10 days we go for 20 ruk'ah. But again, I have to assure that as Muslims we are free to practice Taraweeh number of ruk'ah that we see appropriate, and whatever you can tolerate, you can practice. Now, what to read in At-Taraweeh? Any type of Al-Quran is recommended, but usually the best practice now in Ramadan in several mosques that they finish the reading all Al-Quran during Ramadan, which means in each Taraweeh day or night you do for one part of Al-Quran, and by this you will end reading the whole Quran during Ramadan. And the idea of At-Taraweeh that it should be practiced in the mosque, because you cannot practice At-Taraweeh at home. Except for women, it's recommended that women do At-Taraweeh in their home, unless there are some places and special places for women to go and practice At-Taraweeh. Now, this is the first sunnah that we want to discuss. The second and the most important also, al-i'tikaf. What is i'tikaf in language? In language, i'tikaf is to stay in a place without leaving and to free yourself for doing something you are intending to do. So this is in language, to stay for a certain time in a certain place for a certain purpose. But in al-Sharia, al-i'tikaf is staying in the mosque during the last days of Ramadan, especially the 10 last nights in Ramadan, to be totally connected with God. It's a very recommended spiritual practice that our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was used to practice this sunnah. What is the concept and advantage of al-i'tikaf? Is to get closer to God and be connected spiritually, totally free yourself to be with God, and this is the concept of al-i'tikaf. روي عن أنس بن مالك كان النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يعتكف في العشر الأواخر من رمضان فلم يعتكف عاما فلما كان في العام المقبل اعتكف 20. Anas ibn Malik said that our Prophet Muhammad practiced al-i'tikaf in Ramadan. The last 10 days and nights of Ramadan, he was totally in al-i'tikaf. And in 1 year, he practiced 10. The other year, he did not practice any i'tikaf. So the following year, he practiced 20. So we are recommended actually to practice al-i'tikaf, because in this you are actually connected towards God and you will get lots of credit and benefit from God once we practice this important sunnah. Whatever we can do in i'tikaf, it's if you have the free time and this not affect all other issues in your life, it's highly recommended practice to go for al-i'tikaf. Now, what is the conditions for al-i'tikaf? Al-i'tikaf, it has some sort of the what and how of al-i'tikaf. First, you have to wake up before praying. And i'tikaf is always in the mosque. You cannot practice al-i'tikaf at your home. So you have to choose a mosque that usually is very close to your home. So if your family needs any help, you can go in emergency cases. So the idea is that you should not sleep in the mosque totally before the praying. So wake up before praying to be ready for al-wudu and to be praying, ready for the praying. It also, you have to increase sunan and nawafil, increase number of praying and ruk'ah. This is highly recommended. Also, reading Al-Quran during i'tikaf. One of the best practices that we can do is to practice reading Al-Quran. And of course, we have to reduce eating and drinking. And the main idea of Ramadan is we can gather and integrate all types of al-ibadat. So in i'tikaf, you are fasting, you are praying, you are reading Al-Quran, you are following Salat al-Jama'ah, and during the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Of course, we have Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. And these are totally several benefits that we can practice. So in Al-I'tikaf, we are integrating several ibadat together, and it's highly recommended if we have a good time and free time for this. Now, what are the conditions for Al-I'tikaf? The first condition, it's for Muslims. Other religion is not to practice Al-I'tikaf, so it's especially for Muslims. This is the first condition. The second condition is At-Tahara. So women who have the period or having any blood due to birth are not to practice Al-I'tikaf. Also, men, when they got sperms getting out unintentionally, this will stop Al-I'tikaf. And if some of these happens, we have to stop Al-I'tikaf and getting out of the mosque. So this is the first condition. The second condition. The third condition is you have to make the saying that I am going Al-I'tikaf for the sake of God, for the ibadah, and niyyah. So we have to have a niyyah before going to Al-I'tikaf. This is another condition. Number 4, it must be done in the mosque where you follow Al-Jama'ah in doing Al-I'tikaf. To stay in the mosque except for urgent issues. So some urgent issues you can leave and get back to Al-I'tikaf. Sometimes you need to go for eating, drinking, but if other people from your family can help to bring you what you need, this is recommended. And sometimes if you want, for example, to go to see if your family needs any urgent issue, you can practice this. Although it's recommended to be totally the last 10 nights of Ramadan in the mosque practicing Al-I'tikaf. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون. Of course, the other condition in I'tikaf, we cannot approach the wives, we cannot approach our wives because this will stop Al-I'tikaf. You are totally in ibadah, and this is another condition. So if we practice the Al-I'tikaf, what are the precedences and benefits that we can get from this important sunnah that our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was used to practice? The first, it's a spiritual energizing to the self-being. You are free except for al-ibadah, and this is actually a high level of spiritual energy. Also, you get more credit. وبالتالي مضاعفة الأجر. تضاعف الأجر means that you get double credit and triple credit with practicing this important sunnah. Also, you get out of your guilts. You free yourself from guilts. فهي تكفر للذنوب وتغفر الذنوب وتكفير للذنوب. And since you are with God, no chance to do guilts. And so because of this, Al-I'tikaf will prevent devil from affecting you. So Ash-Shaytan is far away from you. And this is also one of the most important precedences of practicing Al-I'tikaf. And the idea is to reach the highest level of At-Tuma'nina. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. So the idea, once you practice this important sunnah for all Ramadan you can, this is actually you increase the level of satisfaction, of feeling relaxed, and النفس المطمئنة. So these are all important precedences for Al-I'tikaf. What about for women? It's highly recommended for women to do I'tikaf at their homes, to be away from people, so the woman will be free for connecting with God. So it's recommended to practice Al-I'tikaf for women at home. But if there are if they want to practice in mosques, there should be a special places in the mosque to allow women to practice Al-I'tikaf. But the conditions for Al-I'tikaf for women are the following. First, she had to take the permission from her husband to going for al-i'tikaf if she is married. If she is not married, she has to take the permission from al-wali, her father, her brother. And if the mosque does not have special places for women, it's prohibited to practice al-i'tikaf for women. So these are the concepts of at-tarawih and al-i'tikaf, which are a very important sunnah to do in Ramadan. Again, Ramadan is a holy month. As much as we can practice all these sunnah, it's really highly recommended, because in this we will be directly connected with God, spiritual energizing our body, and even physical energizing by practicing all these sunnah that we can practice in Ramadan. Now, are there best and bad practices in Ramadan? Actually, because of several practices, we have to clarify what are the best practices to follow in Ramadan and what are the bad practices that we should stop practicing in Ramadan. The best practices is actually reading Quran for understanding. The idea of being with Quran is not the idea is to finish reading. The concept of reading is actually at-tadabbur. You have to think to increase your deep thinking and understanding of Al-Quran. Sometimes reading only 2 ayah in Al-Quran with concentration, with understanding, with trying to connect these ayah with life, it's better than just finish reading without understanding. So Al-Quran we have to read with full concentration, with deep concentration. So the idea and the best practice, read to understand. And sometimes we have in Ramadan some time other than other days that to go for reading with concentration. The other, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يتلونه حق تلاوته أولئك الذين يؤمنون به ومن يكفر به هم الخاسرون. And this is from God that we have to read Al-Quran with full understanding. So in this episode, we summarize the importance of As-Sunnah, Sunan, which are At-Tarawih and Al-I'tikaf. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our program, Secrets of Fasting, and this is Dr. Tariq Rashid.